Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Ryan Makes Sense, where we talk about personal finance, investing, and chart analysis. Today, I want to talk to you guys about how we can chart a stock out on the monthly time frame from scratch. How can we find the supports, resistances, any patterns, any channels, any Fibonacci supports, resistances, what we should look for. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, so the first stock that we're going to look at is going to be the SPY, the S&P 500. I want to look at this because this is one of the market indicating stocks on where we can see if we're heading in a bull market or a bear market. As we can see from this area right here, we are currently in a bear market. The stock price has been falling for the last year. Depending on which parts of the stock market you invest in, it's been down for longer than that. So I focus on small cap stocks where we have strong companies that are growing into mid cap, large cap companies. And those have been getting hammered since about January 2021. So it's been well over a year for me. So let's go ahead and let's draw some supports, resistances, channels. Let's look at long-term supports and resistances and kind of go from there. I'm just going to hide myself here really quick. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to select the channel. We're looking at this. We have the channel right here. This is the drawing tool. And let's just do the long-term channel where support has always bounced. So I'm going to go to this candle right here. And let's go. I want to incorporate as many supports as I can. So by doing this, I have one area right here, one area right here, about an area right here, and we have two areas right here where they bounced right off. So what this is telling us is that every time the price has hit this blue line, it has bounced off. All right, so that is our long-term support for beginners purposes, just because it's easy to find the long-term support that's bounced off. We could have started way over here and done something kind of similar, but that would be a little bit more complicated because we're going to have to match it for this range right here, and we're going to have to make that determination of where we want to include supports and resistance, and same for here, and also somewhere over here. So next thing I want to look at is long-term support and resistance. I kind of want to see something that goes up here, kind of acts as resistance, 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 and then breaks up. So what I'm going to do is let's go here and go backwards. So if I go there to about here, let's go all the way back. I kind of want to, let's go right here. So what I've done here is I've added this as a line of, this acted as resistance down here. It tried to pop through, and then it acted as support right here. Apologies. Support right here, support right here, support right here, and then it fell through. And this became resistance right here. It could not break back up. And then we were in a long ascending wedge, which means it kind of just bounces up in here, and then it attempts to break this area right there, and it does not, and it tanks right through. And then we have this is our original line of support. But going back to this one that we have, we can see here it acted as resistance right here, and it failed, so it bounced back down here, acted as support. And now this whole area of this ascending wedge is a magnified version of this ascending wedge, and it finally broke through. finally broke through right here. It got rejected on this candle right here. Let me zoom in. Got rejected on this candle here, and it finally acted as support, 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 and then came back all the way down to support, and then support again, and broke and went all the way up. So we have these two lines that act as support and resistance. Blow back up. So these are good indicators of watching where the stock price will go. 100% of the time, the stock has hit this line. I'm going to make it purple just so it stands out. I'll make it thick. Every time the stock price has hit this purple line, it has always bounced off. Whereas this blue line, this long one, it has acted as resistance, support, resistance, support, support, resistance, 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 support, support. So I would not be surprised if we kind of traded down sideways and bounced off either both of these, but we're going to find out. So now we have, supports and resistances. I think we can draw one more really big resistance. So we had the price get rejected up here, and we also had the price get rejected down here. So let's make this as far as we can. So basically, every time the price has hit this, let's make it a different color. Let's make it a orange, thick orange line. Every time the price has hit that thick orange line, it has rejected. So we have rejection here and rejection here. And is it going to hit that line in the future? I say yes. I say it will. I think we'll come down and we'll test one of these lines, and then over the next decade or so, we'll probably test this line again. So we have the ultimate resistance and we have the ultimate support. And what we could do is, let's now look at a channel. I want to create a channel. And what better place than to start up here where the price has fallen? So let's create a channel from the 479.98 range, which is right. So hard to get it. 7. I'm just going to do 490.80. And every time the price has tried to break this line, but never could. Let's do it right there. Price has never broken that line, and we've seen magnificent support. I would say like this is kind of tough. I would say something along this. So I decided on making this a narrow channel because we can see several times this act as support, 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 kind of act out as a resistance here, fell out, and this broke back up. So that's kind of breaking. It's testing the sturdiness of the bottom of this channel, and it's pretty strong. Could not break the upper part of this channel. Resistance, resistance. And I think we're going to come down, and I think the worst case scenario is probably going to be October of 2023, where it'll still be in this channel, but trying to break out. That's what we want to watch out for. So we have a channel there that is fine and realistic. Let's look at another channel. Let's go back to this and let's create the same line where we were at, and let's make a channel here. So if we go back here to here, this looks very realistic because we're capturing this prior price action and it's respecting it really well. And then also up here, you can see it's respecting it really well. So I like this. I like this a lot. So let's make this a dotted blue. There we go. And let's just see how well it respects. So kind of gets traction, support, support. We got some support, support, resistance, 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 support, support. Looks like support, resistance, 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 support, support, resistance, resistance, support, 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 resistance, 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 resistance. So could not break above that. And if we go up top here, looking at the dotted blue line, we can see resistance, resistance, support, 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 resistance, support, support, resistance. So I like this channel. We're now below this channel for the month of September. If it doesn't close above this month, we're still going down. That's my opinion. But if we can close above it, that might be bullish, but it depends on what the candle is going to look like. So we have a couple channels. We have a couple support and resistances. Excuse me. Now let's look at, excuse me. Let's look at cycles. So we can see here was the all-time high for this decade, and then this was all-time high for this multi-decade. Let's look and see what we can do here. First of all, let's look at this Fibonacci arc, and let's go to 4281 over here. And it might be really hard. 40, we'll just update it. And then 479.98. So this is too big, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to do this. So I would go back. Oh, hey. I would remove this. Let's remove that. And let's go back to the latest low, the furthest low in a long time. That's going to be this guy. And let's go here to the highest high, 479. Right about there, sure. So we can see here, I'm going to zoom in for us. We can see here it acted as resistance, 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 kind of gain support, support. This acted as support, and now we're heading back down. You can see bounce right off of the Fibonacci ring right here. I'm sorry, this is not a Fibonacci. Right off of this arc, perfect support. And now we're going to come back here and test it again, obviously. So now it's going to have another layer of supports and resistances as it kind of navigates its way into future territory. So that is something pretty cool that we can do as well. Another thing I want to show you guys is looking at the arc. So let's bring this back a little bit. Okay. So this is cycle brackets. So this is going to show us where we can, oh my gosh, where we can look to the stock for anticipated, and what we're looking for is resistances. So every time it bounced off this and this, where is the next one going to be? So this cycle bracket is lined up here. So basically January of 2000 all the way to November 2021. I would say January 2000 to January 2022, and I would not be surprised to see this at January 2044. Yeah, right there. So I'm thinking the next all-time high is going to be in January 2044. Based off of this, again, this is just another method of, looking at different technical tools. So that's all the fun stuff we can do here. The short-term price action basically says we're going to see some more downside this month. If it continues in this channel, we'll probably see 297, maybe 300. But again, this also could be a bull flag where we have the flag pull here, and then it's creating a bullish flag here. It doesn't quite look like that in my perspective because we normally see like a triangular pattern, but this is more of a consistent downward trajectory. So yeah, this is how we can start from scratch and how we can notice and kind of determine where the price of a stock is going to go before the market tells us or the company tells us. So yeah, I would not get excited about this market until I can see that the SPY breaks out above this and closes probably in the 420 range for over the next few months. So until then, I'm not very excited, so we'll just want to keep an eye on this. And again, we are using the SPY as our indicator because the SPY does have 500 plus, or I'm sorry, it just has 500 of the top companies in this, in this name. So yeah, I'm going to pop back on here real quick. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and going through this. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you soon. Bye.